Silence for 5 seconds.
All right, welcome to your Plazm Daily Health Report. We are on day 59, and if you've glanced at the charts at all today, you know there's one big number we have to talk about right off the bat. Oof, yeah, there it is. A drop of nearly 20% for Plazm in just the last 24 hours. It's a rough number to see, no doubt about it, and it's the first thing on everyone's mind. You just can't look away from it.
But is that number really telling us everything we need to know about the protocol's health? Well, as we're about to find out, the story happening underneath the surface is, well, it's pointing in a completely different direction. So let's dig in. First things first, let's just get the top-level market numbers out of the way for day 59. So yeah, here it is in black and white. Plazm is sitting at $1.72, which confirms that 19.2% drop. And its sister token, eShare, is also down a bit, trading at $13.24. So, on the surface, it looks like a pretty tough day out there.
But we know that market price is just one part of the equation, right? To really get what's going on, we gotta pop the hood and look at the actual engine of the protocol. And trust me, this is where the story gets a whole lot more interesting.
Okay, now check this out. This is where things start to diverge from the price chart. The daily token releases, the new tokens that can create some natural sell pressure, were actually down by 16% today. So the protocol itself put less potential selling pressure into the system than it did yesterday.
Now, at first glance, this might look bad too. The dollar value of the daily payout to everyone staking dropped from over 200 grand to about 164,000. And yep, that 19% drop almost perfectly mirrors the token's price fall. But hang on, because there's a really crucial detail here.
And here it is, the number of Plazm tokens paid out to stakers. It was pretty much exactly the same as yesterday. The only reason the dollar value went down is because the price of each individual token went down. This is so important. It means the yield engine is humming along just like it's supposed to, completely ignoring the day-to-day market drama. All right, now for what I think is the most important signal of all. Forget the protocol for a second. What did the people, the holders, actually do today during this big price drop? Did they panic and sell? The data tells a very clear story. Nope. Just look at this breakdown. A massive 55% of all Plazm is staked. Another 28% is locked up in liquidity pools, and 12% has been burned, gone forever. Do the math, and that leaves just 5% of the entire supply that's actually liquid and easy to sell. That is an incredibly small amount of supply on the open market. And this is the real story of the day. On a day where the price dropped nearly 20%, what did holders do? They staked an additional 4,170 Plazm. They didn't sell, they doubled down.
And it doesn't stop there. On top of that, another 450 Plazm tokens were permanently zapped out of existence by the burn mechanism. So the supply is getting even tighter.
So let's put it all together. The total amount of staked Plazm grew by 9% in a single day. Let that sink in. This is a massive signal of conviction from holders who are clearly focused on the long game and the yield, not the short-term price swings.
So, we know the holders are strong, but how does the protocol itself fight back against this kind of market pressure? Well, let's go check on its built-in safety net, the defense pool system.
Think of these pools as the protocol's war chest. There are 4 of them, and they all have one job. Use capital, like eShare and USDC, to go out and buy Plazm on the market. This creates buy pressure to help support the price. And as you can see, there's a pretty healthy stack of cash ready to go.
In total, we're talking over $81,000 in defense capital. Now, the key thing here is that this number is actually down about $2,800 from yesterday. And that's not bad news, that's fantastic news. It's proof the system is doing its job, actively stepping in to buy tokens and absorb that selling pressure.
Okay, so the defenses are up and they are working. But the big question is it enough? Let's look forward and see if the protocol is ready for what's coming over the next 7 days. If we look at the week ahead, most days look pretty standard in terms of token releases. But you see that big spike right there on day 61? Over 13,000 Plazm are scheduled to be released. That's the real stress test for the week. So let's run the numbers. Let's imagine a worst-case scenario where every single token that gets released over the next week is immediately sold. At today's prices, that would create about $80,500 in sell pressure. Now let's put that right up against the defense capital we just looked at. And here's the punchline. The defense pools are holding 101% of the capital needed to buy up every single one of those tokens. The protocol isn't just ready, it's over-prepared for the entire week ahead. It's covered.
So, after all that, where does that leave us? Let's bring everything together for the final verdict on the health of Plazm on day 59.
Look, the price is down. We can't and we won't ignore that. But what do we really see today when we looked under the hood? We saw staked tokens jump by 9%. We saw more tokens getting burned, tightening the supply. And we saw a defense system that is fully funded with 101% coverage for the next week. The fundamentals are strong.
So, while the headline for today might scream fear, the underlying data is actually showing strength. This is a classic case of why you have to look beyond the price. Holder conviction is up, and the protocol is working exactly as designed. Join us for part 2, where we're going to zoom out and really analyze the long-term growth of this yield engine. We'll see you then.